All right, now it's time to kind of look at what a lot of experts are saying one of the better drafts we've had in recent memory.
I think the buzz around our draft is pretty positive right now.
It is, yes. So starting out with the first round pick, we're at 7. Somehow, thanks to the Bengals, Penei Sewell falls to us, which was your number one choice.
Oh, I thought it was a fantasy, though, that
you
fall to us.
I was dead set on him not being there at 7 because I really did think that he would be taken at 5. But he falls to us at 7. We take him. We get the video of Brad Holmes and Dan Campbell absolutely losing it in the draft room.
Yeah, Brad Holmes almost knocked over Sheila,
which was awesome to see. It's really nice to see them celebrating that pick. You know, like when we had Bob Quinn and Matt Patricia, did you ever see anything like that?
No.
It looks like
no sort of camaraderie.
Yeah.
Or like
it's a fun environment. Like
right.
People are excited. I think it. So I wasn't with you on Penei at first because I was on the side that there are other holes that need to be filled. Our offensive line is already good as it is. We didn't need one. But after reading more into Penei, seeing what people are saying about him, and the idea that now we have one of our best offensive lines in God knows how long. Probably ever since – I don't know how the offensive line was during Barry Sanders because I was like 2. But if Barry Sanders was, as good as he was, they probably had a decent offensive line there.
Well, okay. But more currently, right, you can make an argument that the Detroit Lions have the best offensive line in the NFL. You can make an argument.
Yeah.
Putting Penei there, year 1.
Mm-hmm.
And the guys we already have, and we'll get into Frank Ragnow in a little bit here, but you can make an argument that is the best O-line in the NFL.
Yeah, so we have Taylor Decker coming off probably his best season at left tackle. Jonah Jackson developing, rising left guard. Frank Ragnow at center, who I think was a Pro Bowler. I don't know if he was
last year was his
All-Pro.
First Pro Bowler.
Yeah. Vaitai at right guard, which give or take.
It's spotty.
And then assuming Penei Sewell at right tackle. I'm probably not assuming. You could probably say that he's going to be our right tackle next season.
And I'm pretty sure we got some guys too, like on like behind those guys, like a Crosby and like some other pieces.
Crosby, we took. I think he's a guard, but we took that guy from Kentucky last year, who I'm still excited about. I don't know how much he played. I don't even know if he's still on the team, to be honest. But
I love it, man. This pick was my absolute dream. I like just the idea of building this thing, which it seems like the Lions are kind of aligned with, building this thing from the trenches out.
Yep,
it seems to be their philosophy, and they make the strongest part of your roster like concrete.
Yeah,
and then build upon that, and it benefits everyone. It benefits like
DeAndre Swift, Jared Goff,
right.
Who are the 2 main people that we need to help benefit this season?
Yeah, well, we talked about a lot with these picks of let's give Tua a wide receiver to give him a chance, right?
Uh-huh.
I think it's the same idea with Goff. It's let's give him the best O-line we can give him to give him a legitimate chance. I know people maybe are kind of scratching their heads about our receiving core right now. They did draft one later,
mm-hmm.
but I think for Jared Goff, from what we've seen of him in the past, this is what's going to give him an advantage in the NFL and like to be a good QB. Like he needs
mm-hmm.
this kind of structure.
And so to build out on that, you're so right. Jared Goff, when he was at his best, was when the Rams were running heavy play action. And for play action to be successful, you need to establish the run. And to establish the run, you need a good offensive line. Last year, it was good, but this could be great. And if DeAndre Swift comes out and plays like he did last season,
he'll be better.
He'll be really good this season, and that will help Jared Goff be the best quarterback that he can be.
It was nice, too. Jared Goff did a little press conference. I think it was like 2 days ago or so at this point. They asked him, point blank about the Lions drafting a QB. They talked to you at all, blah, 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 blah. And he he made it sound like he was pretty confident that they weren't going to do it.
Yeah.
And that's got to feel good if you're him. Like, this whole thing is just, if you're rolling the dice on Jared Goff, you gotta do it properly.
Give him a chance.
He might not be so horrible like everyone's kind of thinking. Like, he might be all right. We don't know. It could work out, and it could actually pan out. It could burn and be terrible and be like a really bad trade. Just acquiring him.
Okay, yeah, okay.
But this is what you got to do to see what you got with him.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. So building the trenches up and then moving out was definitely the mindset. In the second round, 41st overall pick, they take. By the way, hold on. Let me say this before we get into the rest of these picks.
All these names. Yeah.
I am the king of butchering names on this show. This draft class was the cream of the crop when it comes to difficult names.
Yeah, it's bad.
Second round, 41st overall, Levi Anu was. I can't even begin to pronounce it. It's extremely difficult. He's a defensive tackle out of Washington. I like the pick. Build that defensive line up.
This thing is starting to like.
It's starting to actually look good. They take two defensive tackles back to back. Aleem McNeil in the third round at 72 overall. From North Carolina State, another defensive tackle. They have Michael Brockers. They have this Aleem McNeil, this other guy from Washington. Don't even bother trying to say his name. Levi. I'll just call him Levi from here.
Yeah, that's good. Romeo Aquara.
Romeo, Trey Flowers, who is spotty. But I think from what I'm hearing is they're trying to run a 3-4. Getting some bulky, big defensive linemen, defensive tackles to really plug up the holes there in the front. It's going to be huge. So I love both these picks. I wasn't ecstatic about them at the time, but sitting back now, getting a couple of days to process everything, I really like the idea that we're building this team from the trenches out.
Look, I can't sit here and talk about all these picks because truthfully, I don't know a lot about these guys.
Mm-hmm.
But what I can say is that we do know for a fact that Brad Holmes, his bread and butter with the Rams was finding actual starting talent in later rounds and like developing not just first round picks, but like guys in the third and fourth and fifth round. Like, he's gotten that Rams roster in pretty good shape with late round picks. So if they think that this is the philosophy that they want to do and they want to build a team this way and they think they found value with all these guys, then I'm all for it. I like what I'm seeing so far. It's really promising.
One other thing that I'll say about Levi, he made headlines for his post-draft conference where he said flat out, I like f***ing people up. Which is like, yes, that is the mentality that Dan Campbell wants to build. Dan, right? Yes, there. That is 100% the mentality that we want. So I'm really happy about that. Third round, 101st overall. Oh, God. Ifeatu Melifonwu. Probably not even close.
This is going to be a fun offseason with this.
But the cornerback from Syracuse, his brother apparently was a second-round pick in 2017, but is now out of the league. Big athletic corner. Again, I like the pick.
We need bodies.
I was in the camp for a linebacker that I could actually tackle, but we get one in the later rounds. We get more help at cornerback. We have Okudah and Awarmiye, but Okudah's on the fence. Awarmiye, how good is he actually? So some more help at corner never hurts.
Well, we had the worst cornerback group in the NFL last year.
Yeah,
not even
terrible.
Statistically, they were horrible.
The whole secondary, the whole defense in general sucked last year. So I'm glad we win with heavy defense in this draft.
Yeah, last year I remember people were complaining about how we didn't, fill a lot of these defensive holes, and like we had a bunch of missing spots in the defense, which were terrible. Well, first year, let's plug those holes the best we can, right?
Yes, absolutely. 4th round pick, 112th overall, Amon-Ra St. Brown, wide receiver from USC. I saw a couple clips of him playing. He seems like Kenny Galladay in the idea that he can go up and make a big catch.
I have 2 questions about this guy.
Yeah.
The first one being, is he related to Equanimeous St. Brown from the Packers? Is there any relation there?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah.
That's funny. Okay.
Has one brother on a NFC North rival, so that's got to be.
And I thought I heard something else too that I guess my other question. Are they from Germany?
Oh, I have no idea.
Because when I saw like the post about him getting picked, I saw a bunch of like German flag emojis like in the comment section and people talking about that, and I was like, okay, that's kind of weird. But no, we need more receivers. I do agree. I was watching some plays. He does kind of have a little bit of that Kenny Galladay like physical.
I think Dan Campbell came out and said that he's not somebody who's going to run a 4.3, but he's going to be competitive. He's going to be tough. And yeah, I mean, from the clips that I saw, he really does seem like he can go up and make a big catch.
All the comments on social were saying this was a steal pick.
Dave Brinkett from the Detroit Free Press thinks that this is the biggest steal of the class.
Wow, damn.
Yeah.
And apparently this draft class too was pretty loaded with receivers. So
yeah,
to get one this late sounds like good value. Mm-hmm. We really just need someone of these young guys, whether it's him or Quintez Cephas, to just like
really step up.
They got to step up because
they have to have a big year.
This core is paper thin.
Mm-hmm. So then we pick back to back after trading away a 5th rounder and next year's 4th rounder. We take Derrick Barnes, the linebacker from Purdue. Campbell said that there's going to be some growing pains with this, but the pick was praised by ESPN's draft analysis, which is cool and all. The thing that shook me to my core, and now I'm all in on this guy. Apparently, he's already requested the number 55, classic linebacker number.
Yeah.
And requested to play middle linebacker.
Good.
Right up my alley. If you come in and you start making tackles, I'm buying his jersey.
I think the last linebacker to wear 55 was Stephen Tulloch, I think.
Something like that.
I think so.
Yeah. I was thinking maybe Levy, but he wore 54.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great pick. Apparently, everybody else thinks so. There might be some growing pains, but if he can develop into a legit middle linebacker, this defense is going places.
I bet this guy could be as good as Tavai this year.
Absolutely.
It's not saying much.
I mean, I was going to say I could probably be better than Tavai this upcoming year. I mean, that guy sucks. All right. Our last pick is super interesting. Jamar Jefferson, running back out of Oregon State. He is the 3rd to last player to go. He apparently thought he'd go in the 3rd or 4th round.
Wow.
He was 5th in college football last year in averaging yards from scrimmage per game, 154.2.
Do you have any kind of idea of what kind of back he is? Like, is he a better runner, blocker, pass catcher? Like, do you have any sort of? I don't know anything about him.
He doesn't look huge. So my guess is he's probably a little bit more of a speed back. But yeah, I mean, if this guy was slated to go in the 3rd or 4th round, which I mean, he said he was, but I don't know how accurate that actually is.
Well, running back stock is at an all-time low, seemingly.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, it's an interesting pick. He'll probably be the 3rd string now.
Yeah, well, I think this is a pretty organic segue.
Yes,
into him taking a certain player's spot who's leaving the team or left the team. He's gone.
So it seems that they have high hopes in Jamar Jefferson. and Jamal
that
Williams.
sounds like a player, like an NFL player name. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Just that ring to it.
It also just screams Oregon State to me. I don't know why, but Jamar Jefferson, absolutely. So the Lions this past week end up releasing Kerryon Johnson. Played for the team, I think, 3 years. This past one was his third year. Drafted back 2017, maybe?
That was 2018.
2018 in the second round. Second or third round, I'm pretty sure.
I think it was a second-round pick.
Yeah.
It's him and Swift were both second-rounders.
Out of Auburn. Played pretty damn good his first year. He was the first running back to get over 100 yards in a game since Reggie Bush, which that just shows you how dated that is. The second year, he gets injured, doesn't play a whole lot. Third year, we have Swift and AP. He's
basically
kind of
relegated
to passing or pass blocking running back at that point, which he was probably the best running back at doing that in the NFL.
What this makes me think of is that I remember when, like last year specifically, we barely saw anything of him on the field, and we were kind of all like, "Where's Kerryon? He's healthy. He should be playing." And then he gets cut by this current staff. Maybe he is part of the problem. I mean, we kind of at the time were saying that, oh, it's just Patricia not wanting to play him or something, like, you know, blaming on them. But now they just cut ties. We just said, no, we're good.
Yeah.
I wonder how he fell off so fast. Like, I
injuries
don't
and
Jamal Williams does offer. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, when he did play last season, there was nothing spectacular.
Jamal Williams seems like he offers a pretty similar skill set, and he seems like he's had a lot more success in the NFL. So I guess it's kind of like, well, why do we have two of the same guy, but one of them's inferior? I mean, not to be like blunt about it, but I'm sad to see him go, I guess. I mean, he did have a couple of nice plays in his time here, and remember that Dolphins game he came onto the scene was an awesome game, and like I still remember that, like him just a Lions running back looking good.
Yeah,
you know, I think Swift is encouraging enough for me to not be too hurt about his departure.
Oh yeah, I mean Swift was without a doubt RB1 this year,
and he and Kerryon already got picked up. He got signed by the Eagles, so he's going to have another shot.
Which that could be a good fit for him.
I just think this thing kind of soured, and it didn't make sense to have him on this roster.
I think that he was a fan favorite. So yeah, it definitely does sour the taste a little bit. But at the same time, I was a huge fan of his. I have his jersey. At the same time, I don't not understand it, if that makes sense.
Yeah, they can make a case for it. And I don't hate the move. It is sad though.
Yeah. So Kerryon leaves. In comes Darren Falls. You said a familiar face. Has he played for us before?
He has played for us.
Oh,
before.
really?
He was. Yeah, he was here. I think Patricia's first year. He was on the team. God, we had I think he was in that spot before we had Hawkinson, where it was like it was Fells and Luke
pointless.
Wilson.
Yeah,
and
tight end was just pointless.
Horrible. Yeah. So curious to see him come back. He actually was like. He was like tight end 1 for the Texans last year.
Oh, was he really?
Yeah, I mean they're a mess, but he was a big part of that offense. Every time I turn on a Texans game, I saw him. I'm like, that's our buddy, Darren Falls. They just add another tight end to this room, and it's like it's getting pretty big now, pretty beefy.
Josh Hill, TJ, Darren Falls, 2 guys with good experience, 1 guy with a ton of potential. So
Darren Falls does have a ton of potential. You're right.
Okay.
Welcome back to Detroit.
And then finally, let's cap it off with Frank Ragnow signs an extension and is now the highest paid center in the NFL. Completely deserving,
100%,
especially after playing with like a broken trachea last year, a fractured throat, and people were like, how do you play through that? I think he was doing he was doing like sign language with Stafford to like communicate with him or something.
That's so
like
metal.
that.
Oh man.
Yeah, so super funny, but yeah, no, it really just ties back to them committing to the trenches here.
This is probably because Kenny's gone now. I guess you can label this as Bob Quinn's best pick that is a current Lion still, I think. I don't think there's anyone else that you could make that argument for. I'm going through my
Currently, yeah.
head here, but he really, really showed, that he can be an elite offensive lineman center, in the NFL. And I'm glad that we didn't, waste any time getting him a new deal or doing any contract negotiations. No, just get it done. He's here for 4 more years, or I think 4 years on top of his next year. Like we've been saying, they're building up the trenches, and like this is a pivotal part of that. You cannot let him leave. Like this is not even an option for them.
Our cousin Jake actually made I think like a really good comparison in the idea of he said, I think Ragnow can lead the team like Jeff Saturday did for the Colts.
That's cool.
And I think that is so true. I think Ragnow can be one heck of a leader on the offensive line.
Did you watch his press conference when he got his new deal? So I just saw a clip of it, but he got like pretty emotional up there. Like he was like just so happy that he's able to like
continue playing for us.
Well, that, but also like being able to set his family up. Like, like he's in a spot now where he's like, he's going to be able to take care of like his family and his mom. And like,
that is a really nice feeling.
He was talking about how he like, his dad's no longer with us, but like, he would have been taken care of the rest of his life. And just like, it's just really like, really great to see. And I'm glad that we have that kind of like character person, like being an anchor of this team. It's just, it's a good feeling with this current setup. You get a lot of just positive feelings of like, oh, there's some good people running the show or like that are being put in spots that are leadership. Like it's something that I don't think we're used to. We're Lions fans, so we're kind of jaded and cynical about the team to a degree, but like just to have these positive vibes for a change is like, it gives me the fuzzies. It makes me feel good.
I was going to say, that's a good segue into, I think our last little part here about the Lions. Are we full on chugging Kool-Aid now?
Yeah. I mean, I was like our second podcast. I mean, I was chugging the Kool-Aid, but
I think I'm in the same boat now.
I mean, I like the draft was like my first real time where I was like, because every move up to the draft, I was like, yeah, I agree with Brett Holmes. I love what he's doing. And then the draft, just because I don't know these guys that well, and it was an interesting strategy, I was kind of just like, okay, like I have questions, but like
the back-to-back defensive tackles was definitely eyebrow raising at the time, but now sitting back and thinking about it, I like those.
I'm on board with what they're doing.
Yeah,
from a personnel like standpoint, they've got an awesome coaching staff and front office set up.
Yeah,
I like how Sheila Ford is handling all this stuff. I like the roster as it's like we're putting more pieces in here. It's going to be a bad year, but like this roster seems like it's kind of a hodgepodge of some good players, some like we'll see if they can do anything players. Like it's interesting. I like the direction this a lot. It feels different. It feels fresh to me.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I totally agree.